Hey everybody, welcome back to Workshop Showcase. I am Mr. Spicy, and today we are back with Besiege, taking a look at a few nice little inventions from people on the Steam Workshop that work really well and are a lot of fun. So let's get going and see what these are all about. Okay, the first one we're going to look at is the mechanized Panthera NeoFelis. This is a, large tiger, lion, saber-toothed cat inspired type mech creation, and it is actually really interesting. It has a very good movement arrangement and actually works really well as far as what the mechanics are that are required to make it move. It doesn't have any weapons mounted on it, so no breathing fire, no launching explosives, rockets, or anything. It's just simply run around and destroy things by running them over. That being said, this is a very fun to play design. It's also a case that, you got to think about the amount of trial and error that went into setting up the mechanics for this to run the way it does, and you've got to respect how much trouble it was to get this to work right. Overall, this is a fun little mech to play with. It does require an extra skin pack, but don't worry, when you try to subscribe to this in the Steam Workshop, it will warn you that it does require an extra item, and will give you the option to click there and immediately go ahead and subscribe to it. Okay, moving on to our second machine. This one is just simply called Mammoth. Now, there's quite a few of them named Mammoth, but this is the one that stands out, and it looks just like a big mammoth. It has tusks, which are big drills. It's got what looks to be ears. It also has a large number of controls that you can use, such as, make the head and ears stand up. You can rotate. There's rockets on the sides. There's a big launcher on the back of it. So there's a whole lot of different things you can do. Now, one thing to note, instead of pressing up and down to move, up and down actually rotate you, and you actually have to use the left and right arrow keys to walk, just like you would be walking on four legs anyway if you were a mammoth. One thing to be cautious with is I have found it very easy to topple this thing over, which ends up causing your payload on the top to blow you up completely. As I said, this does have a big launcher at the top, which you can activate independently and then fire separately. Now, the controls could take a little getting used to actually get everything to line up right and be able to get your shots to hit correctly. But this is still a very well built design and has a lot of features. You have rockets that you can fire from the sides, which you will use the same controls to angle up the ears and tusks to angle them up and down. Just be careful you don't end up blowing yourself up accidentally. You can also launch rockets from underneath your tusk, which you can see are hidden away behind the drills, so you want to make sure you at least raise the drills up or you might blow them off as well. Now, there is also an option to evacuate water, which basically means you pee on everybody behind you as they kind of just stand around hitting you, and it really doesn't seem to do anything. Now, is this going to be a design to use for actually completing missions? Probably not, but it is a very interesting design, very fun to play with, so I definitely encourage you to check it out. Our third design today is simply called Centaur, and it is designed to look like a mechanical centaur. There's not much going on here. You have a spear and a shield. Your shield will spit fire out, and you can move around, but it doesn't have any other weapons besides that. The main thing about this is the way it looks and the fact that it actually moves very well considering what you'd have to do to get the design to work. Now, this is a taller design, and unfortunately I've ran into a lot of problems where if I was just trying to run something over, I tended to break off the front hooves of the design, so I don't recommend trying to use this to bash in anything because it's a tall structure you need to take out. It depends really, I think, on what the structure is. So stone structures will probably not be very good to run this thing towards, because it'll probably end up just breaking more on the mech than on the structure itself. But as I said, this is a very interesting design. You have a shield that spews out fire, so that's fun. However, it's so high up that you're gonna have problems hitting anything with it. You can also raise the spear and use it to fight with. In a way, you hold it and it basically thrusts it forward and lets you do whatever you intend to try and use it for. Maybe knock something down that's a little taller. And our last design for today is the Striker Eureka mech. Think of this not so much like a transformer, but more of the, you know, Pacific Rim type battle mech. This is really, out of all the ones we've looked at, this is the most involved one. You have full head movement options, up, down, left, right. You can actually raise and lower the two arms and make them, you know, make a fist when they raise up. So you can basically smash things. You can also use fire from either hand, which is really cool. It doesn't really give you much option as far as aiming on that, but that's okay. Each wrist has a blade set that can be deployed or retracted. You can open and close the chest plates, and behind the chest plates, we actually have a set of rockets. You can also turn the waist just a little bit. It's not going to turn a lot. It doesn't spin completely around, so you're not going to get too much use out of that. You can also open and close both hands, either making a fist or having your hands wide open. The one thing about this mech that I have found to be a problem, that you're not going to be using this in normal gameplay, is the fact that it is very unstable in regards to running. It has a tendency to want to fall over if it takes a bad step. If you get caught anything under your foot, it will cause you to topple down and probably break at the waist section of the mech, where you basically have to start again. Overall, I really like the design and the way it looks, the way it's put together. It looks great, and you know, if you were doing mech battles in this game, then it would be probably pretty decent to use, just because of the way it looks and the fact that all the rockets are going to hit your opponent dead in the chest, assuming you can turn right enough to look at them and aim right. Well, that's it for today's episode, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button. Also, make sure you hit subscribe and tick the notification bell so you can keep up with all my content during the week, because I am posting 6 days a week, so you've got plenty of content coming your way. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter if that's more of what you prefer, and you can leave me a message there or leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think about these mechs, if there's any designs for this game in the Steam Workshop that you would like to see me do a demonstration of in a future workshop showcase. Thanks again for watching, guys. I am Mr. Spicy, and I will see you in the next video.